Hey, everybody. Welcome to Busman Tarot. I'm Gigi, and this is my channel. This is going to be just a little chit-chat. Just a little chit-chat. I feel like this is almost like a podcasty-ish vibe, right? When I just get on here and like drop a few gems, but it's also just connected to the collective consciousness and what I see popping up in the collective and how it can help our community over here. Okay. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing great. Sending a lot of love to everyone in Houston because we just got ransacked by Hurricane Beryl, and also everyone in the Grenaders and the islands and in that whole region. It was just so crazy going through the experience and literally kind of like seeing the hand of God move, and how we are just humble, like we're God's children. We are humble children. We are humble human beings that when nature, by way of God, decides to move, we just got to get out the way. You know what I mean? So it was like so many little gems that I picked up with going through the whole process of being in the hurricane, and how you can use that as a metaphor in life to be inspired, to be hopeful, to be optimistic, and to keep going, right? But yeah, we had all of that happen. I was without lights for like 4 days. And even prior to, I had like some sinus things going on, and I was just like, oh my God, like everything, hit at one time. Whole time I'm like, I want to do readings. I want to get, because this is really important to me. But yeah, sending all the love and all the good positive energy for everybody in Houston and in the islands. And also I've just been praying that everybody else's energy comes back on in their power, comes back on in their home, so everybody can get moving around and doing things, getting back to life, their normalcy. But yeah, maybe I could start off with the metaphors with the storm. This is just basically encouraging words. I feel like right now the collective is full of opposition. It's full of divisive energy. It's full of delusion. It's not very grounded right now. I feel like right now it's hard to find spaces that are very rooted and genuine in love, in truth, in light, and really trying to make a difference, versus I just want the influence, I want the following. It's ego based, it's money based, it's material based, right? The whole point of this message and just my channel in general is that, for one, I always tell people on every reading, go to God first, right? Pray about your love life, pray over your life, pray over everything that's going on in your life. And I do think that that's one thing that I'm here to, or one objective that I'm here, or one goal that I'm here to do, and constantly push that message out, because there's a lot of advice online. There's a lot of advice in the self-help community and spiritual community, therapy, insta therapy community, and all these things, and some of it is baseless, some of it is most of it probably mainly is. Everything that you hear on the internet is not true, right? But a lot of them are just based on, I have this following, I'm getting this money, or whatever. It's not, or for shock value, or it sounds good. But once you apply critical thinking skills to it, and on a layered level, then you start to say, maybe that isn't as wise as it came off as, or maybe that's not the advice that I need for myself, at this time. So every time I get on here, I tell people, pray, go to God first, pray over your love life, your finances, everything. Be in the energy of thankfulness and gratitude for everything that God has given you, and constantly ask for God's guidance. That's like my most used prayers, just like God lead me, God guide me. And I feel like that has really made a big impact on my life. I feel like I'm a favorite person. I feel like I'm a blessed person. I feel like that I'm a spiritually protected person. And I do think that, over years, your prayers, if you are continuously asking God for guidance, God help me, God use me, He will use you and He will guide you, But yeah, I always say that, though, go to God first, because even I can see that within taking in any information, we have to know for ourselves, is this information right for me at this time? Like it really does all start with self, right? And I want to just reiterate that in general, while I'm kind of giving this collective message, is that protect your mind. Protect your mind and everything that you're taking in, okay? And really pay attention to, like the Bible says, test the spirit by the spirit. Because people can smile, people can dress up, people can look great, people can love and light you all day. You know what I mean? People can have an air of kindness, but throw it back at you or whatever. You know, people can play. Basically, they can put on masks and they can play a certain role. To either be looked at in a certain way, because people who are very focused on money or ego or influence or whatever, they are aware that image is very big, right? It's a big thing how people are perceiving you, and they really care about that. People who tell the truth, they really don't really care about that. But protect your mind, whether that is the music that you're listening to, and also get in alignment with like what you want. Like for me right now, well, just get in alignment with what you want to do in life and listen to that music, read those books, like, get it all into alignment so you're directing your energy and focusing your energy. But protect your mind at this time. I know that we're also heading into just presidential season, election season, and we can experience uncomfortable moments, we can experience uncomfortable moments because there's so much opposition and division around politics in the U.S. And that's a really personal thing. Like, whatever works for you, that's what, that's what you vote for, that's what you go for. But protect your mind. And I also kind of want to break down a little bit of how the mind and the spirit are connected, and how people think that like the spirit is what drives the person, or like the soul or whatever. But you know how they say lost souls or lost spirits? That happens because of the corruption of the mind. So you have to watch out what you're listening to, the energy that you're around, who you're talking to, what you're learning, and all of that, because it can go from the mind and to the body, mind, body, soul, spirit, right? Down to that level. And a lot of people, like say for instance, they're anxious about like being at work on time or whatever, and they go to sleep and they have all these dreams of like, oh, I had a dream that I missed this, or that I did this, or whatever, right? It's because your body is picking up what is going on mentally in the mind. That's why when people have like PTSD, or they have depression, or they're in a lower mental state, their dreams are reflecting that. Their dreams are of a lower mental state, right? And so that's why they say sometimes it's an indicator that if you keep having these nightmares, it's an indicator that something within the psyche needs to come back into balance. And for me, as a spiritual person, I just believe that if you are a person of faith, and if you are a person of optimism and positivity, well, that is in your body, that is in your mind, and then that is in your spirit, right? So everything comes out of that. And you have to be in alignment with God. You have to be in alignment with source to, be using your powers or whatever. But yeah, so protect your mind. Stay in prayer at this time. I feel, look, the praying card is like literally here. Stay in prayer at this time. Continuously pray over yourself for protection. And I say that because, and your family and your loved ones and things of that nature. And I say that because we are in a state where the collective energy is really operating of lack or opposition, or it's like chaos, So it's hard to stay positive. It's hard to not give into the drama. It's hard to not start to participate in that energy when you are of light, right? And then if you are in this energy of light and you're positive and all this stuff, people are going to want to attack you, And that is because it's a spirit thing, right? People who are full of envy, of jealousy, or whatever, it's a spirit thing. They may not consciously understand what's going on, but on a spiritual level, they're like, ugh, I just don't like that person, or I don't. And it's just whatever they have going on, whatever their experience, whatever their journey, whatever journey that they're on, that's where they're at, right? And anger too as well. Respect God's grace. And I want to say that in terms of like the whole, almost like manifestation community or magic using community, which, you know, I do candle magic and things like that. But I do not in no way, shape, or form believe in manipulating other people, trying to take the choice of free will, which is a God-given. That's God-given, right? So, first of all, that's totally out of line, because we have to stay in our place in terms of we are creations of God. We are not God. So, understanding that people have their free will. So, I don't believe in any work, love spells, or trying to coerce or whatever. I don't believe in any of that. Even like using fear to control people or whatever. I don't believe in any of that. We have free will, and we have the choice to be in fear or to be in faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the choice to stay in our power. But respect God's grace. A lot of people, you know, my ancestors don't play about me, you know, and I don't, which I understand, and it's no disrespect or anything of that nature, but I feel like sometimes, or people will keep on doing things, negative things, bullying people, just operating out of a nasty, ill spirit, right? And they think that, oh, I got away with it this time. Oh, I got away with it again. Oh, I got away with it again, right? Or you like, oh, I did my protection candle in. You know, don't da-da-da-da. It's like almost like a magician with ego problems, right? But a lot of times it's just God grace. It's God gracing you. And a lot of times people are fools. And they really think that they big up themselves to the point to where they're like, oh, it's me. It's me. It's me. And it's my power. And it's me. And it's all this stuff, when it's not. You're being graced by God. And once God pulls that on back, and they're like, oh, okay, well, you know what, I understood that you was making mistakes at this point, but now at this point, this is a characteristic, this is something that I need to break down, this is, you know. So that's another thing. Don't get in the way of God's molding of people. And God's molding is karma, what we call karma, okay? You cannot get in the way of a lesson that God is trying to teach somebody. We have to stay in our place. And we have to let God do it, okay? And either way, anyway, when it's to that point, I noticed that the people who are in that energy, they don't even accept help. Like, it's almost like the reason why God is doing that to them is because they know that they're not going to accept wisdom, they're not going to accept help, they're not going to accept guidance in any way, shape, or form. Because 9 times out of 10, well, not 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, warning comes before destruction. Okay, and so the signs have been there. It was already there. It was told to you. It was in some sort of way. Warning has come before destruction. And fools, they don't take heed. And then that's when they go running into whatever it is, right? But then again, God protects fools and babies. So that's what I'm saying. It really depends on what's going on spiritually and what's the intent of what this person is doing. And is it pride or whatever, ego, whatever, right? So respect God's grace at this time. Know that a lot of times God is gracing you, and it ain't you. You know what I mean? The next thing is surrender. Stop manipulating. Okay. It is great to have a can-do spirit, to want to continue to work on yourself or fix a relationship or show up continuously in something, right? But sometimes when the results isn't coming, when things aren't working for us in certain situations, it's because we need to surrender. Okay? It might be it's not a no, but it's not a right now. You know what I mean? And then also getting centered with God and kind of like figuring that out, you know? Sometimes you do need to keep going. So it's hard to kind of discern Well, maybe not. No, I take that back. But it could be. It could be hard for some to discern whether, I'm going to keep going with this or I shouldn't keep going with this. And I feel like, as a person who uses discernment, the signs of you need to stop manipulating the situation or manipulating energy or candle magic or even doing controlling prayers or whatever it is, you have to stop and realize. So say if it's a relationship, right? So if you're praying, right, also utilize all your senses, common sense, intuition, all of that, to identify if the person you're dealing with, if they are in the energy of trying to heal and trying to change, and if you see growth in that, right? Because the thing is that sometimes we are praying for things that God don't want us to have. We are praying for things and desires that God, that's not for us, okay? And we're praying to keep it, or we're praying to get it, or whatever. And God is like, that's not your ministry, baby, right? So sometimes we need to be able to identify when it's not our ministry, you know. And everybody has a gift, and everybody has a talent, or whatever. So surrendering and stop manipulating. And yes, again, and it goes back to how I was saying about protecting your mind and all of that, and how you need to take in positive things. Great affirmations are wonderful, right? Reading your Bible or your sacred text is wonderful. Reading enriching knowledge is wonderful for your mind. It is wonderful for your spirit. Bringing things into your life that helps you create a more positive, optimistic, hopeful perspective in life, and not in a delusional way, okay? Yes, that's great to do. But when we're using these tools, like affirmation, manifestation, all these things, to manipulate things that are not for our highest good or the highest good for everybody, right? That's when it's like you need to surrender and you need to let go. And you need to let go and let God and let Him move the way in which He is trying to move in your life. Because the thing is, I feel like humans, we feel like we know everything. We think we know everything. We think we know what we want for ourselves sometimes, and all these things. And God knows better. Our Creator knows better, because He created us, right? He put the dreams in us. He put the purpose in us. He put the creativity in us. He put the skills in us, you know? What else? Oh, genuine energy. Genuine energy. Right now, like I was saying, you test the spirit by the spirit. My homegirl was saying that, and my homegirl's mother used to say that, God rest her soul, and she was like, this has really been in my spirit, because, and she was talking about the same thing I'm getting ready to talk about online, social influencers, the space on here, what's going on, the information being put out. And she was like, you have to test the spirit by the spirit. And then that's also understanding like the fruits of the spirit, right? But understanding that like you can have two people standing next to each other and they're both influencers or whatever, because she was talking about it in that way. And one is doing it for the money, and the other person is doing it to actually uplift and like heal the community or whatever, right? And both on the outside look kind or good or whatever, but it's about the spirit behind the person. And it's hard to put into words, because a lot of things that are of the spirit is hard to use language to get that across, to convey that, right? But for me, it's always the eyes, mannerisms as well. But it's really, for me, I just pick up patterns. And before I try to, whether it's collaborate, date somebody, get close to somebody, whatever. And of course, Aquarius, we take our time, and a lot of y'all are Aquariuses on this channel, so we take our time. But once I start to see disruptive patterns or destructive patterns or jealous or envious patterns and all of that, I'm not doing that. So you have to be discerning, and you have to like my mentor used to say, take your time, but hurry up. Take your time and use the exact amount of energy and time that you need to figure out a situation or a person. And then once you have, right, then, all right, don't waste some more time. Go ahead, whether it's on the project or the relationship or whatever. And we are supposed to do that. That's why friendship is, relationships that are founded on friendships last longer, because they took their time and they did their work, you know. Anything fast, and I say that whether if it's a fast talker, if I need to make a decision super fast, that's not like survival, you know, because sometimes things happen and you just have to make a decision. But if I, within a reasonable situation, if I can't pray about it, take my time or whatever, and if somebody rushing me, you can go ahead right on. Anytime somebody rush me to get dressed, you can go ahead right on. Either I'll meet you there, okay, or I'll just miss it. I'll just stay in my peace, all right? And that's another thing. Protect your peace right now. A lot of people have internal chaos, and they're trying to project that out. A lot of people are angry and mad at themselves, and they're trying to project that out, okay? Just move around. What else? Again, with this negative energy out there, and it is what it is. Folks talking about folks gossiping, folks lying, folks in bad financial situations, folks is in bad self-esteem situations. Well, and people don't like to hear the truth right now is what I'm really figuring out. People love delusion, and it's so crazy to me. I mean, that's the definition of crazy, but people don't like truth and they don't like wisdom. And because of that, as a collective, especially within our Black community, we're suffering. We're suffering because we're turning away the wisdom of the elders, okay? We're suffering because people aren't confident within themselves, their looks, how they feel, what they feel about themselves, what they know, how they do things, what they do. And that in turn projects envy and jealousy and anger and all that. And then again, having relationship issues. This collective right now, guys, are unhappy. And once you start to poke holes, oh Lord, what's next? And then look, it went off. Unhappy. That was a public safety alert. But yeah, a lot of people are unhappy at this moment, and it has nothing to do with you. I feel like right now is a good time for, you know, solitude and to you know, be towards yourself and to be in a very independent space where you can go and recuperate, you know, if you are dealing with people who are going through things or chaos at the job or whatever, to where you have a safe space, okay? I think moving forward now, 2025, going forward, to have a sacred space, guys, I mean, you know, I think I'm going to go deeper into that. Really focus on sacred space, whether it's your room, whether it's your home, your apartment, your house, whatever it is. Create sacred spaces where you can breathe deeply, places where you can pray, or if you do, you know, you pull your cards or whatever it is, but it needs to be a space of peace. And for me, nature plays a big part of that, you know. But sacred space, and also utilizing boundaries, you know. I myself have been going back and forth with boundaries, especially on the internet. I feel like in life I come across amazing people, sweet people, loving people. I really, within my physical environment and like the people that I meet and all that stuff, I really see the hand of God move in that sector of my life. But it is online. It is online where I see the most empty people who are angry, who are envious, who are jealous, who are all of these things. And it's very strange because online you can appear to be happy, you can appear to be whatever, you know what I mean, but you can still use your your discernment when going across content and platforms and influencers and all of that. And for me, I'm not a person who's big on, I'm really big on knowledge and intelligence and learning. I'm not a person who's big on like following people for fashion or following people for like the gaudy stuff. Oh, this person look like they're rich, or like the lifestyle stuff, like you're basically watching somebody's life. I'm not into a lot of that, but I think that with that type of energy, like rising up, that everything is like materialistic, and to be that girl, you need to. Yeah, I'm not into all of the material shit and all that. I'm really into you. Or yeah, like people online, people who are very authentic in themselves. Like a person that I really do enjoy, look up to, and think is just like the coolest is Andre 3000, Andre Benjamin, and I've always have. I was a big fan of his. He's a Gemini, I believe. I was a big fan of his cartoon that he had on Cartoon Network. Looked at all the episodes, all the seasons, know all the songs on there and everything, and I just love how he moves and how he is true to himself and how he's very unique, but at the same time very blunt, and like he's like, as I get old, I just got less tolerance for bullshit, like, you know what I mean? And again, that's that air sign energy, but very creative, very beautiful. He also said that, you know, he does what he does. He said he's not happy when he's not creating. And that basically that you aren't going to be fulfilled off mimicking, you know. And so that's what I'm saying. I love authentic energy. I love people who are showing up as themselves because they know that they are full and they're fulfilled, right? So, and I feel like if you are having, because everybody has insecurities, you know, it's so crazy. I used to hide my legs and wear pants all the time. And I'm like, because I was like, oh, they're, you know, they thick, it's a little cellulite and all this stuff, to the point to where my legs were like light skin, like white. But anyway, like as you grow, you start to love yourself. Now, like, I love my legs, like, you know, and I put in the work, I bike or whatever. All of your insecurities are a roadmap to your greatness, or it's a roadmap to self-love. But the thing is that people don't want to take the time. They don't want to be patient with themselves, and they don't want to put in the work in order to switch that insecurity into something that they love about themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're here to do. We're here to see our human weaknesses and try to discipline them or make them stronger, you know, or remedy them. Lord, I can't even get it out of my damn mouth. But yes, focus on healing your insecurities at this time. It is something that is very natural. And then if you feel like, say you're in a relationship and it's like the relationship that you're insecure about, or that like it's not you, like, you know what I mean? Or your money is what you are insecure about, focus on that, right? But then within a relationship, if you feel insecure in a relationship, then that's a two-man job, and that's about trust and respect and all of that. So that's a little bit deeper, but you can always step out of it. You know, if you don't feel secure or safe within a relationship or a job or a situation or whatever, you still have the power to take back your power and to make your decision and to go in a different direction, right? And that's what I feel. I feel like that's what I want to put out into the world, is that like you have the power. Stop the blaming, stop the victimizing, stop the sob story, stop it. Stop the insecurity. Stop the, it's because of them that I can't do this. It's because of them that this ain't this. And it's because of them that this ain't that. And it's just like, stop blaming, take accountability, and do your big one. That's all, you know. Do your big one. That's it, you know. And have that strong belief in self, but again, having that strong belief in God. And just be very truthful. And everything that you do, be truthful and pure with your energy. And that's what you call living. It's too much, oh, I want to dress like this influencer, oh, I want to talk like this influencer, this influencer seems to have this, so let me do it. And it's just, it's starting to just, Like, I'm damn near about ready to get a damn Nokia brick phone like them high schools is doing, because they got sense. Okay, the damn young kids gonna be the one. The boomers or young kids gonna be the one that save our ass. But anyway, because it's too much. I think our brains, our minds have never. We're not supposed to be taking in this much information. So even getting a balance with that, but online has an energy. The people behind these accounts have an energy. And it's just like, protect your mind, protect your energy, and just make sure that you're dealing with influencers or people just in general that are coming from a genuine space, and work on being able to discern that, okay? Especially in terms of like people screaming about politics and, like that, what is it, Project 2025? You look at that and I'm just like, now who does that benefit? Who does that benefit in any way, shape, or form? And why would somebody be promoting that? You see what I'm saying? But everybody, they think differently. Our perspectives are different. So, but I wanted to put this out there because I've been quiet for a while. I really was intending to get a lot of readings out and work done and everything, and we just got slammed. I mean, no power for 4 days. And technically right now I still don't have Wi-Fi. But I said, well, I'll just go ahead and record this and then upload it, But yeah, that's my little pep talk for the collective at this time. My little gems, or just reiterating some things. Oh, I guess I can talk about this too. Well, yeah, so within relationships, being equally yoked has really been like on my spirit and like popping up. And I was talking to one of my homegirls, and we had this whole discussion about how a lot of men right now, they're almost playing catch up to women when it comes to their healing. And that's not everybody's situation. So, take what resonates, leave what isn't. But being equally yoked is about being on the same, for me, this is what I broke it down. A lot of people are like, oh, it's being on the same wavelength spiritually, right? And I'm like, yeah, but how do you develop that? Like, how do you develop the spirit within oneself? Or how you like the pillar, how do you develop the pillar of like the spirit or who you are? Like, what tells you, what's your code basically? How do you create that programming and that code for spirit to be equally yoked in spirit? And I was telling her, it's about the mind. It's about the mind. It's about seeing things in a similar lens as your person, having the same beliefs and outlooks on things. And religion is a big one too, right? And that's kind of mainly what he was talking about. But whatever your mind is programmed on, that's what your spirit goes on. So that's what it's saying, to be equally yoked, that it starts in the mind. So we were having a conversation basically of like how this is when you know you're not equally yoked, right? My homegirl was like, she had a conversation, her guy was there or whatever, and they were watching like this dating thing, but it was like dating / therapy, and she was like, oh my god, she caught all of the inner problems within the relationship that was like on the show, right? And he goes, oh, I didn't even think about it like that. And so I told her, I was like, it's really up to you in terms of if you want to keep putting energy into the relationship and all these things. But that is like an indication that you are a little bit further ahead than him. And it's really about, do you want to wait for somebody to catch up to you, or would you really, or are you ready for somebody who is equally yoked? You're on the same page mentally, right? And I do think that now a lot of relationships are more so focused on finances, and because the economy is pretty crappy, right? But I think that if you are equally yoked, in the mind, that you can basically pull it together, have teamwork, have great communication, and go ahead and build things and make things work, you know. Instead of like choosing a person where it's just like, oh, this person is compatible with me sexually, great, but you're not equally yoked, right? Oh, this person, I can get a house with this person, I can get more money with this person, okay, but that's great, but are you willing to sacrifice being equally yoked with a person? You know what I'm saying? And if we want to talk about equally yoked, then we can talk about soulmates, twin flames, and all that stuff. But it's literally finding a person who is like of like mind and of like energy as you, and that's just it, you know. And the mind basically rules the spirit, because whatever you tell your mind to do, that's what the spirit is going to do, and that's what the body is going to do. So yeah, being on the same page in a relationship. Let's see, I'll pull one card for us. Well, 4 cards. You have focus, power, death, home. And then grounded. Grounded in new life. Yes, literally. Be grounded. Focus on your new life. Focus on your new intentions. Just focus. You know what I'm saying? On what you want to come through. There could be an ending of foundations, okay? And needing to focus your power in a specific direction. This is like the ending of like the old things or whatever, you know, or there's endings of things to go. And that's funny because you have endings and then you have new life, which is like new beginnings. And being very grounded and focused. And then you have affluence and karmic path. And that's what I kind of was just like talking about. Affluence is like how you get your money and all that stuff. And karma is like people going through their karma and people going through things. And how like you have to learn how to stay in your power, you know. Stay in your power and focus. Focus, focus, focus. Let's see. Yeah. You have jealousy and divinity. And it's just crazy, you know. This is just, it's just wild. It's very wild because this is the energy of someone who is like jealous of like your spirit, your divinity, what you believe, you know. Or your light, how divine you are, how divine you shine, how divine you show up. And with home and death here, that maybe somebody is wanting to end your foundation, right, in some sort of way, so needing to focus. Yeah, Divinity says you are divine, and this message comes with a warning and a blessing. Drawing this card invites you to proceed with love over fear. No matter what your situation or relation, proceed from a place of unconditional love, reverence, and understanding. Life is filled with choices. Make sure they are ones that respect all involved, including yourself. Meditate on this symbol when you want to connect with the unseen element support or beings for support. And then jealousy is here. Evil eye, and it says, is word derived from the Arabic language meaning sight, surveillance, attention, and other related concepts. An eye-shaped amulet is believed to protect against the evil eye. Okay. Envy, jealousy, and bad vibes. This card comes as a warning that all is not as it seems, or maybe it is. There may be some jealousy being presented or projected at you at this time. Fear not. This warning is here to provide you with enough distance to take the necessary action to protect your heart, mind, and energy. Or perhaps the good old compare and despair monster has got you wishing or longing for what another has or is doing. Sometimes the jealousy is within you. The power, this is a powerful time to check in and see where you may be feeling inadequate. We were just talking about that. or as if you are missing something. Meditate to shield yourself from negative thoughts, envy, or jealousy. Okay. And then you have gratitude. Gratitude, being thankful. Okay. Gratitude message. Somebody may send you a message of gratitude in some sort of way, shape, or form. Or somebody could be thankful for you sowing into them or saying something positive or whatever. But yeah. Needing to focus on new beginnings, focus on what you have to do, focus on your divinity, focus on your own power, okay, and how you can show up in that. Some of you could be focusing on getting a new home in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys. Send you love and light. Peace.